box without getting banned?
Hi, good evening, all of you. Welcome you all to the series on Thursday for Technology. I'm sure you all are following this series. In fact, I started 11 weeks back. Today is the 12th session. In whoever missed previous sessions, I request you to visit our YouTube channel, The Excelism. You can go to the playlist where I kept all the recordings of all previous 11 sessions. In this week, I am covering an application, not at the advanced level, but I just want to kickstart so that if I open the doors, you can start learning those things from tomorrow. The application name is Power BI. The title of today's session, Power BI Kickstart, a beginner's guide to creating powerful dashboards. This is about the title. Without taking much of the time, let me go into the today's session topics. Let me tell you, Power BI is the Microsoft application. What it meant for? Power BI is meant for the visualization. If you want to build any dashboard, obviously, right, the management may not look the details at the transaction level. Probably they may be looking at the top level. They may only look at the important KPIs. They may only look at the summarization level and so on. Power BI is helping you to present your data in the visualization format. From the visualization, the management can get a lot of inferences. Why I'm talking about Microsoft Power BI? Are there any other visualization tools in the market which are also famous? Of course, there are. In the market, the top 3 visualization tools are Power BI, Tableau, ClickView. In fact, I'm not going to cover about these two. I am covering in today's session exclusively Power BI. In fact, I like Power BI because the product is coming from the Microsoft. Since it is coming from the Microsoft, it is very much integrated with the other Office tools, other Office productivity tools, so that my learning can be simple. Example, if I know Microsoft Excel, if I know Power Query in the Microsoft Excel, I need not to spend more time in the Power BI to learn Power Query. If I know relationship concept in the Microsoft Excel, modeling concept, I need not to spend much time into the Power BI. So Power BI is one of the top visualization tool in the market. After especially with the recent development of artificial intelligence, Power BI will definitely beat any other visualization tool in the market very soon, because it's going to have a great functionality like a co-pilot, meaning I need not to drag and drop, visualize, format, and so on. Probably if I can just give my idea, the Power BI will be in a position to create a dashboard for you in future. Let's go into the introduction to the Power BI. As I already mentioned, Power BI is a visualization tool. If you want to be a good data analyst, or if you want to be a good auditor, or if you want to be any of the department where you are going to work, if you want to become an expert, first you need to understand application and what is an objective of the application. I've seen many people, they use Excel as a Word document. They prepare a lot of content in the Excel itself. They start taking the printout. But Excel is not meant for the reports. Word document is meant for the report. Excel is not meant for the presentation. PowerPoint is meant for the presentation. However, even in Microsoft Excel, you can create your own charts. You can insert charts, you can design it. But if you want to make a proper visualization, Power BI is the best option. Power BI is meant for the visualization. Through the visualization, you can analyze the data. It is a self-service BI, meaning self-service business intelligence. Earlier, IT guy used to provide the analysis to the end user. Slowly, analysts started giving reports to the end user. Now, end user himself can generate the reports what are required because of self-service business intelligence like Power BI tools. Let us look into the types of Power BI. First of all, is Power BI free or am I need to pay any cost for that? Power BI is basically of three types: Power BI desktop, Power BI service, Power BI mobile. Power BI desktop is basically a desktop application. You can just go to the Microsoft and you can download Power BI. It is absolutely free. Let me just go to the browser. Let me go to my account, download Power BI. Just go here, Power BI desktop. Then you can just go here and you can start downloading Power BI desktop, which is absolutely free. If you want to have Power BI service, I think 60 days they have given for a trial. After that, you need to pay for that. It's a cloud-based. Whatever the work you are doing at your desktop, you can take this, you can see the same report in the cloud, in the web application, in the browser. When you can see there are a lot of options where you can embed the same thing in the Power Pivot, PowerPoint, and so on. When it comes to the Power BI mobile, it is exactly the same Power BI service what we have. You can also download the mobile application of Power BI and you can see the same dashboard, because these days the management or the end user of the reports are not expecting every time to go before the desktop and opening a report or a dashboard, refreshing it and so on. These days, everything is mobility. It should be mobile friendly. Meaning I can download my Power BI in my mobile application, and I can start viewing all the dashboards what I created. Once the data gets updated, the dashboard gets updated automatically at the real time, and my dashboard in my phone will automatically update. So that's a real-time data, you can see it. Okay. So once you have this free, you can build the dashboard. If you have this subscription, you can use a lot of other services which are not part of desktop. And once you have a subscription, you can generate the same thing. You can send across an email. Let's say every day morning at 7 a.m., I want a dashboard to be mailed. You need not to do anything. Using the Power BI service, you can do that. It is actually service, software as a service. This Power BI Service Cloud. Now let us look into the desktop. Since I already downloaded, I can just go to the Power BI desktop. Let me click it. Whenever you click Excel, how Excel application will load at the back end, one window you will find it. In the same way, whenever I open Power BI, the Power BI will get loaded at the back end and gives me a blank Power BI window. And this is by default a starting screen. If you don't want, probably you can just click this. Don't show the screen on startup. This is having basically a immediate things. If you want to get the data directly, you can get it. Or what are the recent sources, you can find all here. Or if you want to open any other report in this Power BI application, and some quick startup, small 1 minute, 2 minutes videos are there, you can find here. By going these links, you can see what is the latest updates in the Power BI, and you can go and participate in the forum, and you can also see what are the latest articles in the Power BI by going into the Power BI blog. There are a lot of tutorials. The best part of Microsoft is for every application what they release, the documentation is very exhaustive. If you are really wanted to learn, and if you want to become the master, if you want to know the rules, logics, principles, I strongly suggest you to go to that particular application documentation in detail, and you can follow the sequence of the explanation, and I'm sure your knowledge will be much better than what you were earlier. And let me close this because anyway it's a start screen. This is basically the uh, user interface of Power BI. These days, almost like every application user interface is same. What you'll be having on the top, the ribbon menu. In the ribbon menu, you'll be having different tabs. In each tab, you have so many groups. If you ask me, this is the ribbon menu we have. And in this ribbon menu, this is the tab we have. And in the tab, we have different groups. For example, this is one command. Okay. If you observe, this is the ribbon menu and this is the tab. And in the tab, I have a group called data. In the group, I have so many commands: get data, Excel data, and so on. So if I want to navigate any particular command, generally we directly tell, go to the dataverse, or else go to click new visual. But where is new visual? I have to tell in this way. I should tell to the user that go to the ribbon menu. In that, I want to go to the new visual, right? Then go to the home tab. In that, this is the home tab. In that, go to the insert group. In that, click new visual. This is what the new visual is. This is a proper navigation so that the other person can easily understand what he has to operate. This is the common user interface in any Microsoft application, be it Microsoft Excel, Word, PowerPoint, Power Query Editor, and so on. And when it comes to this left side, you are having three different views. One view, this is what the view we call it. One view, we call it as a, these all are three views I'm talking about. This particular view is basically the report view, meaning whatever the report, after you keep properly the visuals, slicers, filters, and so on, this is the place where you can see. As of now, since nothing is there, so it is just trying to give you some shortcuts, add data to report, import from Excel, import from SQL, and so on. But if you have visuals, this will not appear at all. The visual will appear. This is the report view. In the report, you can have so many pages. This is page number 1. This is exactly like my sheets, worksheets in Microsoft Excel workbook. If I want, I can have an additional page. I can start adding so many pages. All these pages are together a report, right? And you have second view. This view is nothing but the data view. Meaning, if I want to get the visual, if I want to insert a visual, I should have the data. If I want to have a data, from where I should get it? So you are going to get from different sources. Slowly we'll go into that. What are the important things through which you can get the data in the Power BI? This is a data view. If any data is there, you can just click here. You can start seeing it. Now let me click this report view. In the report view, you have three different panes again. Let me click the data view. As of now, there is no data. All the data queries you can find in the right pane. In the left pane, you have view items. In the right pane, you have data. All the data tables you can find here. Here you will find the data. And the last but not the least in this view options, model view. If you can see here, it has given a sample view, sample model, meaning I can relate one table to other table. Let's say one table I'm getting from the SAP, the second table I may be getting from the web, the third table I may be getting from Microsoft Excel. But I want to relate all these three tables each other by taking primary key from one table, connecting to the foreign key into the other table, by using different modeling techniques, star schema, and so on. This is the place where you can connect one table to the other table, where you can relate one table to the other table. As of now, managed relationships is not active because there are no tables at all to connect from one table to the other table. When it comes to these model, you are having properties, you are having data, right? So this is what about three different views we have. Report view is basically you will be finding the dashboard. Data view, you'll be finding the transformed data. Finally, the model view, you can find the relationships. These all three are very important. And let me tell you, if you are already an Excel user having expert skill, meaning if you already know Power Query, Power Pivot, 60% of Power BI you already covered. Meaning, in the report view, I need to have a skill of visuals. In the data view, I'm going to use Power Query because this is the ETL engine in which I'm going to transform the data. In the model view, I am going to relate. That means this is like Power Pivot. If I already know Power Query and Power Pivot in my Microsoft Excel itself, that means exactly the same thing I'm even covering in the Power BI. I need not to put extra effort to learn these two. When I'm covering at Microsoft Excel, that is like a bonus for me in Power BI. The same Power Query is there in the Power BI. The same Power Pivot is there in the Power BI. But in the Power BI, we call it as a model view. But in Power Pivot, Power Pivot itself is one of the add-in into the Microsoft Excel. The only extra thing you need to learn is visuals. Now let us start looking into what are important if you want to build your own dashboard. You need to understand the ETL concept. If I'm not wrong, before last week, Thursday for Technology series, one topic I have covered with respect to the Power Query, introduction to the Power Query. Whoever missed that, I strongly suggest you go back to the playlist and watch the video because there I have explained very elaborately about the ETL concept. For any data analysis tool, data you should get from different source. Once you get the data from different source, you cannot consume directly the same data, obviously. The data may not be in the same format what I am looking for. Then you are going to transform the data. Once I transform the data, I should load back into either my Power BI or my Microsoft Excel because from that data, I am going to build the visuals. That is what the ETL concept we have. ETL is becoming very famous. I strongly suggest all of you start learning about the Power Query, which is one of the strongest ETL tool in the Microsoft products, be it Microsoft Excel, Power BI, data flows, data lake, and so on. Now, as I said, ETL is nothing but in the Microsoft Power BI, Power Query is the ETL tool. What Power Query does here? Power Query does the transformation, right? Now, what I'm going to do, let us take some practical case. If you go here, how in the Microsoft Excel you can create your own data by using random. How in the Word document you can have your own sample data. Let's say if I want to do something in the Word document, what I'm going to do if I want to practice something, you need not to copy paste anything from outside. Just open equal to rand, just put 100, you will get 100 paragraphs on which you can start practicing. If it is in Microsoft Excel, I need not to do anything. If I want to build some sample data, probably I can just take some company and I can just take A, B, C, D. Let's put C. Then you can simply drag this. And you have functions like rand between, and so on. If I want to have a sales, you can start filling the rand between, equal to rand between 10 to 100, copy paste special values. My data is ready. In the same way, let me not save this file. Let me also not save this Word document. Just as an example, I'm covering. Even in the Power BI, if you want to practice, you need not to have your own data. Power BI has given you the sample data set. In fact, in today's session, I would like to cover. In fact, I'm going to give a sample dashboard from this sample data set only. Let us try to see what is this data set. Let me click this try sample data. Once you click it, there are two ways you can use the sample data. You can go to the launch tutorial online. There are so many data sets are there. Otherwise, you can just load the sample data by clicking this. Once you click this, it's going to open a navigation. At the back end, it's an Excel file. You can see from here, financial sample.xlsx. From where it is taking from the source. Whoever already having experience with the Power Query, I have already covered in the last sessions about this. Whenever you load any Excel workbook, there are two objects Excel Power Query automatically identify. One is the table object, the other one is the range object. Okay, let me select the table object here. I don't want both. Once you select this, if you want to directly load into your Power BI, you can click load. Otherwise, if you want to do some transformation, you can click transform data. I have not done anything. I am using the same sample data what Power BI has given it to me, and I'm just using the same thing for my dashboard. This preview may be up to 7 days old. If you want, you can refresh. This is Power Query Editor. This is exactly the same Power Query Editor you will find even in Microsoft Excel. However, extra tabs or extra functionalities are there. Like here, you have the tools extra tab. It's not there in the Microsoft Excel Power Query Editor. Except one or two extra options like AI Insights is there. This is not there in the Microsoft Excel Power Query, right? That's fine. Now let's go to the Home tab. This is the Power Query Editor within the Power BI. Again, I already covered in the previous sessions. This is the user interface. On the top ribbon menu. Left side, you'll find all the queries. Right side, you'll find the properties. Along with that, all the applied steps. You can see all the steps, what happened. You can just see the source. The source is, you know what? Whenever you downloaded the Microsoft Power BI, in the same folder, there is a sample data they kept. Probably if you want this Excel file, you can just simply copy. You can go to the browser, just enter. Yeah, this file got opened. However, this is the read-only file. Okay, this is a simple way because I went into the source. I understood from where this file is coming. That's fine. The navigation, then finally changed the type. I don't want to see what is there. But let us look into the data. There's a segment, there is a country, there is a column called product, discount band. Let us see what are all other options here. Units sold, manufacturing price, sale price, gross sales, discounts. Very good. There are so many columns. Sales, COGS, profit, you have date, and you have month, month name, year. These all are not really required because anyway, we will be having one more table and we will do the model if at all we are really looking for, because instead you creating your own column, inserting your own column in the transformation, my suggestion is you can create another table using the DAX, then you can connect that date table with this table so that is more effective. But anyway, they are given all these data columns. Now I want to just close and apply. I don't want to do any change. Just close and apply. Now I extracted the data from an Excel file, which is there in my computer. Then what I have done, I went into the transformation. I have done a couple of transformation steps. In fact, I have not done anything now, but if you want, you can do that there in the Power Query Editor. Once I'm done with the transformation, I load it back into my Power BI. This is what exactly we do even in Microsoft Excel. Let us see through what are the sources you can get the data. Maybe in Microsoft Excel Power Query, limited sources are there. But in the Power BI, there are n number of sources. You can get the data from Excel workbook, Power BI data sets, data flows, Dataverse, SQL Server, analysis services, text or CSV file, web file, data feed. You can even have your own blank query. There you can start building it. And if you can go to the data hub, otherwise what I can do, I can click more so that you can see all the connectors, all the sources through which you can get the data. Let me click all, right? You can see all here. See how many items are there. You can even get from the PDF, Parquet. You can even get from the SharePoint folder. You can even get the data from the SQL Server database. Check it out. You can even get the SAP HANA database, SAP Business Warehouse, SAP Business Warehouse Message Server. Even you can get from Amazon Redshift, Google BigQuery. N number of connectors are there. Check it out. I'm 100% sure. See, even LinkedIn Sales Navigator, GitHub, a lot of things are there. Power BI is one of the strongest. Power BI is having great library with respect to the connectors. You can connect the data from any source, whatever you feel relevant, wherever you feel the data is lying, right? Now, let's go to data. Now you can see all the data here. Right side, you can find the data, financials. Because the data type I have changed, automatically it is giving me some indication. Wherever you find the sigma symbol, that means sigma symbol means it is a number for which you can apply the aggregation functions. That means sum, count, max, min, and so on. If nothing is there, that means it's a text field. If calendar icon is there, that means it's a date field. If you can enable the settings to have all the data hierarchy, automatically it created a data hierarchy like this. Otherwise, you can create your own calculated table using calendar auto and so on, and you can connect that particular table with this date column. Anything is fine. Now, as of now, only one table is there that you can find in the right side. Let's go to the model view. In the model view, earlier nothing was there. Now one table is there. In the model view, if I want to relate, at least there must be two tables. You cannot relate otherwise. Now, for the time being, keep it as it is. I don't want to do anything. Now you can go back to your report. Concentrate for next 15-20 minutes because this is the place where I'm going to build the dashboard. Even in Microsoft Excel, you can insert a chart, but Excel charts are very basic. Now you can see how great you can do the formatting here and so on. Now this is what I want to build. Now let me select this. Right side, you have a data having all the tables. This particular data part is there in all of the views, here also, here also. So there is no change. And extra two views you can find in the report view. That is, one pane is a visualizations pane. The other pane is the filters pane. One is visualization. The other one is the filter pane. In the visualization, you have all the default visuals given by the Power BI. However, if you want, you can get more visuals by going into the app source of the Microsoft. Let me click more visuals, and it is taking me to the app source. These are all the visuals. Maybe some are paid, some may be free. You can start getting it if you feel for your data, any specific visual is important. However, from the visuals, from this default library, most of the things we can do it. But sometimes for a specific data, you may need to import some of the visuals. Okay, this is the place where you can start getting your own visuals. Now, this is what my visual pane, right? Now, let me keep the cursor here. And there are two tabs here again. This is a add data to the visual. You can select any of the visual. For that particular visual, you can add the data into these fields. As of now, it may be just values. Based on the visual you select, the parts can change. Now, the second part here is the format. Format your report page. Now, whatever the changes which I do here, that will give the change to my report. Whenever you select a visual, then the format will be for that visual and so on. Now, let's do some quick formatting here. What is the name of this? Sample dashboard. Today, I just would like to create a sample dashboard before all of you so that you can understand how simple building the dashboards using the Power BI. However, if you want to have advanced dashboard using the DAX and so on, then probably you need to learn little advanced topics. But for the time being, this is sufficient, right? Allow use tooltip. I don't want, right? What are the other canvas settings? Let's go here. I want 16 by 9. This size is okay. Then what other things? Canvas background. By default, it's white. If you want, you can keep it whatever the background you want. If you want the black background, you can keep it. I want the transparency 0 so that you can exactly get the black one. This looks, I know, little odd. So this is not great one. Let me keep this. This is also not very great. Let me have little dark like this. If you want, otherwise, you can even have the background image by going into the browser so that the dashboard background, this everything is basically the creative job. So if you are good with creativity, then you can do the best thing in the formatting part. Now, if you want the wallpaper, anything, if you want to take it, you can have it. How the filter pane should look like. This particular pane, as of now, it is looking like in the same black color and so on. If you want, you can change it. I am not going towards that. Do you want any border? Yes. Now I want the border color must be something like a red color or blue color. That's fine. Let's go to the background. Already I have given this one. I want little. You can just start doing these options. Start going into these options and make your hands dirty. I'm sure you can build a, you can format beautifully your page. Now what I want is, I just want to insert a text box. Whenever I click the text box, you know what happened on the tail, one text box appeared. Now let me reduce the size of it. Let me keep a proper title for this text box. You know what is the title you want me to keep? Sample dashboard, the Excelism. Let me make the size bigger. I want maybe 54, 54 maybe a little big. Let's make it 28. I want in the middle, I want, yeah, let this be middle. I want to make it a little smaller, right? So if you want, you can change the formatting. You can have it bold. You can do whatever you want. Okay, if you want, you can just go to the format. You can start doing it. You can drill down, do a lot of things. But I'm not going much deeper towards that. Okay, so this is fine. Now I want maybe, let's have a thick blue color. Let's select this. Let's have the blue color. Fine. This is what my title. Now, what are the visuals we can build from this data? Now, where is the data? Your data is in the right pane. You are having the data in the financials. Now, what I want, maybe let's move this table, this particular text little down so that you can see the proper background. So I can simply drag this little down, this particular table. Yeah, I can maybe little make it down. Yes. Yeah, so that you can see proper background. Okay. Now click outside. Once you click outside, this particular visual related, the format will disappear. Okay. Now fine. If you want, you can probably have the background, you can have the properties. See, formatting is your art. If you are good, you can do it. Otherwise, you can leave it. I want maybe something like a blue color for this, the background, and so on. You can do that. Now, let's go into these visibles. And we have a data product. In the data, we have product column, country column, and so on. There is a sales figure. Where is the sales? There is a sales. It's always good in the dashboard if you can present the important numbers in the card format. Let me click this card. Once I click the card, now what is the field for which you want to have the summary? I want to have for the sales. Let me keep it here. Now automatically it has given me the summary. Now let me make it small. If you want, even you can change the format. As of now, it is sum. If you want, you can just right click here, show values as. Do you want average or max or min, count, and so on, right? If you want the format for this particular one, you can just go to the call out value, how the value size, and so on. You can do a lot of things here. I'm not going much deeper towards that. Okay, if you want a general formatting, you can just go here and start doing it. This is the sum of sales. Now let's say, let me have a very quick another 3, 4. Instead, you again click another card, again drag and drop your fields. What you can simply do, you can just hold the control key. Okay, you can control C, you can just do control V, just drag it. Control C, control V, just drag it. Control C, control V, you can simply drag it. This probably you can arrange it based on the size, how much distance you are having, and so on. Now I don't want sum, I don't want sales now. Now let me take the COGS. Sorry, let me take the COGS. For this, I don't want sales. Let me take the discount. I'm more interested now to know my profit. So in this, let me remove the sales. Let's take the profit. So all the important KPIs I kept here. Otherwise, maybe to make it more alignment. See, in the dashboard, the very important thing, you know what? The formatting part. Okay, so maybe the important logical thing you can do it, formatting whoever you feel good at your organization, maybe you can allocate to them. Maybe to build the entire dashboard, for me, if I take 30 minutes, but for formatting, I may need to spend another 30 minutes. But that is relevant because if your dashboard looks good, then people can use it much better. Now, what I'm going to do, I want some of the charts. By using the date column, I can prepare some line chart. Let me take the line chart. Once I click this line chart, that visual appeared here, x-axis, y-axis, secondary axis, and so on. What I want is, I want the date in the x-axis. But I don't want everything. I just want to have the date, that's all. Right? Let's take the date out of this. I don't want everything. So let's go to the date hierarchy and you can have the date. That's fine. You can take it. I'll explain what is the meaning of these buttons and so on. Now, what I want is, I want maybe the sales. Let's take the sales in the y-axis. Otherwise, you can keep x-axis the sales. 1 second. You can just close this, keep it to values here, and I want to have my date in the y-axis. So that this, okay, it has taken by default count. This doesn't have any sense. So what I want is, I want the sum. So 1 second, let me go a little down. This is the line chart. I don't want count dates. So I think earlier one was correct actually. So this is the perfect one. So you can just start taking this. This is your line chart. Basically, whenever the dates are there, it is good if you can use the line chart. You also need to know for what type of data, what type of visual is important. Now let me little reduce this. I'm just building a small dashboard quickly within half an hour time with the sample data given by the Power BI itself. Now let me take some line chart, some cluster line chart. Probably what I want is, I want in the y-axis, let's take the sales again. Instead of sales, maybe let's take the profit. In the x-axis, let me take the country. Okay, I want the legend. I want to take maybe the product wise. Okay, so this is my visual column chart. For product wise, country wise, you got the sales. If you want to make a little bigger, probably even you can make it like this. Otherwise, you can make small. If I want this should be looking like little bigger, I want this should come little bigger, I can make like this. And in this space, I can make another chart. Probably it is good if I can make a chart of tree map. Tree map is basically based on the size of the box, you can identify what is the volume. For example, country wise, category is nothing but a country. I want the values, maybe the values I want is, let's take the same profit. Let's go to the profit. See, based on the size of the box, you will get to know what is the value and so on, right? Let's go down. N number of visuals are there. How much time I have taken to prepare this small dashboard? Not even 20 minutes. Not even 20 minutes, right? If you want, probably what I can do, I can make this as a left alignment. I can keep this as it is. Maybe I can reduce the size of this. Now it's good if I can have the filters properly. Meaning, what I want is there is a segment. Till now, I have not used the segment. I have used here. What I want is I want to use the segment. Now, let me take the slicer. I'm sure you all are aware about the slicer. Slicer is there in the pivot table. Slicers are there for the tables in Microsoft Excel. Slicers are nothing but through which you can filter. Now, what I'll be doing, I can just simply click the slicer, but I want the slicer should fit here, right? I'll just change the format a little later, but what I want in the slicer is maybe I want the ear. Let me take ear in the slicer. Okay. Now you can, if you want, there are n number of options are there in the slicer. You can just go to the format, how the slicer has to look like, and so on. You can easily find out. Okay. Do you want to as a vertical list? Do you want to as a drop down? It's good if it is a drop down so that I can easily drop down this value. The best part of the slicers, if I can use the slicer, you can just click it and you can just select this. All the visuals will change with respect to this title. If you can select this, the entire report now is for 2014. The entire report is now for 2013 and so on. That's the best part of the slicer. Now let me have another slicer. This is a very small slicer with respect to the year. Now what I want is I want another slicer, another filter. Maybe let me go a little right side. Let me have another slicer. This is the slicer. In this slicer, I want maybe the discount band. I'm not sure what items are there in the discount band. Wonderful. Wonderful. But I don't want to present this in this way, but I want to present this in a horizontal shape as a tile like this. Now you can just make it bigger. Whenever you present like this, I want to go into the option so that I can arrange this in how many items and so on. I'm sure you'll find somewhere in the properties, is it not? Yeah, I'm sure somewhere there is an option through which what I can do, I can just make how to present, how many items I can present here. As of now, it is height, medium, it is appearing in 2 by 2 matrix. If I want, even I can change it. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just tell you where is that format through which what I want is I want all the 4 items in a small font so that I can fit here. Otherwise, you can reduce the size of it. Yeah. Whenever you reduce it, automatically it fit. Now I can just simply keep it here. Let me reduce further. Wonderful. Let me keep it here. Now, just filter for 2014 for high price band, the entire dashboard got changed. Now, if you want medium for 2013, everything got changed. Otherwise, if you want everything, just click this, clear the selection, or just go here, clear the selection, all. That's the beauty part of the filters, slicers, and so on. In fact, I have covered very basics till now. Now, if I don't want any background color, maybe it's a good option. I can just go here. Just give me 1 minute, not more than 1 minute. Maybe I can just go to the title. Yeah, for this particular text, it's fine. Otherwise, you can just change background colors a little bit. Based on that, you can understand. Now I want the size. I want to little reduce the size. This particular one, I want to make it maybe the size of, I want to make the size of 20 so that the filters will come properly. Filters will fit properly, right? So this is fine. Now let me reduce towards this. A little bigger. Maybe let's go here. You can properly fit. Let's go towards left side. As I mentioned, it's more the time is about the formatting. If you can spend little time for the formatting, your dashboards looks in a great way. Wonderful. Let me go a little up. Great. Okay, I prepared a small dashboard within 15 minutes of time. You know what is the best part of this? If I go on change my source, this entire dashboard will automatically change because I'm using an ETL tool. It is real time. I can, once I change the source, the final data will automatically change. That's the best part of it. Now, what I can do, now once you click the visual, all the filters got highlighted because it's a visual level filter. Filters are basically three types. Do you want the filter at the visual level? Or do you want any filter at the page level? Or do you want any filter for all the pages? This filters helps you to do that job. For example, when it comes to the sum, for example, let me take this. Now what I want is when it comes to the country, now I want only for Canada and France. Fine, I don't want any other thing. If you want, you can just put everything. By default, it has given everything. But if I want to filter specific items for this particular visual, you can just go and start doing it. Otherwise, if you want for this entire thing, you can just drag and drop. Let me drag this on this page. I want only for Canada. That means this entire page, whatever the visuals it is giving, that is only giving for Canada. If it is having more than one page, then what I can simply do? I can just, if I want any specific filter, I can put here in the last option, filter on all the pages. Once I drag and drop, all the pages filters will apply. As simple as it. Right? Let's go into our topics. I built a small dashboard. Anyway, as every session I mentioned, whatever the data, whatever the working files on which I'm working in the class today, these all get saved into the Dropbox. Already in the description of this video, I have shared the link to the cloud. You can just click it and you can download along with the sample dashboard, all the working files. Now let's go back into the topics. I've covered about Power Query and so on. When it comes to the Power Query, you can do the transformation using user interface. Even you can do the transformation with M function. I'm not going much deeper. Let's look into the important option called modeling. In fact, till now, I did not do much of the modeling thing. Now in the Power Query, another very important concept, we call it as a DAX. DAX is basically data analysis expression. DAX language is a library of functions and operators that can be combined to build formulas and expressions. For example, if you want to build a small visual in which you want to keep a small table of last 15 days total, but besides that, you want for the same period last year, what was the total? How is it possible? Very difficult. Using the DAX, I can create the measures. Using the measures work as a filters for the context. Then I can use the measure and I can drop it as another field and the calculation will automatically happen. There are different types of calculations can happen. Calculated tables are there, calculated columns are there, even calculated measures are nothing but the values. Through the measures we can get it, right? So I'm not going much deeper into the DAX, but DAX, if you can learn, the same DAX is there in the Power BI, Power Pivot for Excel, SQL Server Analysis Services, and so on. But don't worry, you may feel that DAX functions are entirely different. DAX is nothing but having so many functions at the backend. It is very simple. Most of the functions of Microsoft Excel are even available in the DAX. Now, what I'm going to do, I will just go to my dashboard. I will just go to the data. Are you finding calculations can happen for a measure, quick measure, new column, new table? I want to create a new table. Whenever I'm trying to create a new table, if you observe, if I keep a hover, there is a screen tip. Write a DAX expression to create a new table. DAX expression you have to write here using DAX functions. Now, always remember, whenever you want to create a DAX, always try to give the name for that. because I'm creating a table for this, let me give the name as dates, right? That means for this table, the name would be date. Now, what function you want? Whenever I have taken the DAX table, these are all the functions which are available. N number of functions are there for your information. In Microsoft Excel also, we have a function called row. If you can observe, many Microsoft Excel functions, you can find it. Offset, you can even find in Microsoft Excel. In the DAX, very recently, they introduced and so on. Even filter, you can find in the Microsoft Excel. Financials table directly, if you want, you can get it. Right? What I want is, I want a function called calculated calendar auto. I want to use this function. By using this DAX function, what you are going to get? It is going to return a table with one column of dates calculated from the model automatically. What is the model? In the model as of now, no problem, it's going to give me an error. As of now, financials is there, right? I'll go back. Now, what if because this argument is optional, please have a look. Once I keep open bracket, it is in the square bracket. It is exactly having the same rules like Microsoft Excel. In Excel, if any function argument is covered with a square bracket, the meaning is it is an optional argument. Even in this case, it is optional argument. If I enter, what will happen, in all our model tables, whatever the date column which is available, from the date column, it will take from the first day of the calendar year till the last day of the calendar year. Now, if you can observe into the date column, let me just sort this data. If you want, you can do that. 1st December 2014. Otherwise, if I want to know what is the lowest value of the date and the highest value of the date, for me, it is very simple. Do you know how? Let's take the card here. Let me click the card. Now I want to take the date here, right? What is this? Earliest date. What is the meaning of it? It's the oldest one. That means this is the first date out of the table. Let me drag a little. I want to know what is the maximum date. Let's take the same card. Let's take the date here. I don't want earliest. What I want is, let's click here. I want the latest one. 1st December 2024. Your financials data is having from 1st September 2023 till 1st December 2024. But whenever I have used a calculate table called calendar auto function, let us see what is the table it has created. Let's go into the date table. Anyway, instead of me going and seeing here, probably what I can do the same, just Control C, Control V, drag here, Control C, Control V, drag here. See, for which you have taken from the financials data, the date. Now for this, I want to take from the date which I have taken, which I have created using the calendar auto function. Now let me take this date. What I want is, I want the earliest date. It is 1st January 2023. Because the format is not in the proper format, let me select this column and I want the format should be something like maybe this. The same format will apply even here. Now let's go here. I want to take the date not from the financials table, but I want to take the date from the new calculated table. I don't want earliest date. I want the latest date. What is the meaning of this? Though your financials data start date is 1st September, automatically your calculated table build a calendar start from the 1st January 2023, because 2023 September 1st was the date. So it will go to the first day of this particular year. And the data is still 2014 December 1st. So it will go to the last day of this particular year. That's the reason automatically there is one column it has created. But you may be saying, Saran, I don't want the calendar year, but what I want is financial year. Don't worry. That's the reason there is an extra column. Just put open bracket, financial year end month. What is the meaning of it? Now, if I can give 3 close bracket, I am trying to tell to the Power BI DAX that my financial year is closing at the 3rd month. That means from the 1st April, please give the calendar. Once I click enter, now if I go to the visual, it automatically changed to 1st April because it is belongs to the 14-15. It has automatically taken till 31st to 3/2025. Now, if I want to do so much of visuals with respect to the time related data, whatever one column of date may not be sufficient for me, then what I can do, I can have so many calculated columns now. Now I can just insert a new column. If I can put a hover there, you will find a screen tip, write a DAX expression that creates a new column in the selected table and calculated values for each row. That means this is exactly like Microsoft Excel, how you write it. Now, once I click, just give the column name. I want the column name must be what do you want? I want year. I want year column. Now, what is the function you're going to use? Year function. For which column you're going to take? I want to take date column. Try to understand the names, how it is appearing here. You can either select this or even I can select below one. The first one, if I select the date, that means I'm trying to select for the same table. And I can even select this. Date is the table name. In that date is the column name. Now just close bracket, enter. Automatically, you will get the year. I'm sorry, I think I have not taken date. This is the one I should take it. Now just enter. Automatically, you will get the year of it because from this date table, I've taken the date column. Columns are indicated in the square bracket. Now, if I want new column, don't worry. Go to the new column. I want, let's say, month. In fact, the same functions what in Microsoft Excel, we have the same. Let's have the month function. I want to have the date. Let me have the date from this, enter. But unfortunately, you are getting the month number. Even in Microsoft Excel also, month function will give you the month number. But don't worry. Let me create a new column called day. I can simply have the day equal to day is the function. Let me take a date column, enter, you are getting the day. But I want the month name. Don't worry. What you're going to do, you can just simply have a column called month name, use a function called format. This is like a text function in Microsoft Excel. What is the value you want to take? I want to take the date. For the date column, consider date as an argument. I want the format MMM, close bracket, enter. For example, if I want to have a day name, then simply you can just take the column name as a day name. Whatever the formulas which I'm writing are nothing but the DAX formulas. Let's take the same format. Then what is the value you want? I want it has to pick up the date for which I want DDD must be the format. But one function which was not there in the Microsoft Excel, but which is available in DAX is nothing but the quarter function. I want the quarter equal to quarter. What is the date you want? Date of this. But unfortunately, quarter will give me what, based on the calendar year. But I want the quarter must be from 1st April till 30th June, first quarter, from 1st July till 30th September, second quarter, and so on. Then you have to little extend this formula. Okay, as of now, I'm just keeping as it is, as this is just a beginner's guide. Maybe in coming future, I'm going to take sessions for the advanced topics. Then we'll cover how to write the if function, how to put the variable in the DAX, how to write the DAX expressions with so much complexity using the time series functions and so on. Now, last 5 minutes, concentrate. Now, there are so many columns I've taken, right? Let's go to the model view now. What is an advantage of this model view? Now, this is the primary key. Why I'm calling date column as a primary key? Because this use the unique date column having unique values. Now, what I can do, I can just select this and I can connect this date to this date. Whenever I have connected this date to this date, next time I can filter based on even these values, I can aggregate these values. That means in my visuals, I can directly take something from here and I can directly take something from here because date got connected, related, and automatically my visual will be correct. Let me take a very quick small visual. What I'll be doing now, let me take from here. I want to have a small chart year wise. Okay, it has by default taken table, but I don't want to take table. I want to take this. I want to take a year wise x-axis. Let me take in the y-axis sales, but still you got the correct answers. Do you know the reason why? Do you know the reason why? Because this table is connected to this table. The primary key of the date column from this table is connected to the foreign key of this table. Now, what I want is, I want to even take the month into this. Let me keep it month here. Okay, month wise and so on. But I don't want month number, but I want month name. Let me take the month name here. Right? Wonderful. So that you can get it like this and so on. Okay, so otherwise, what do you want? For example, if you want month is a small multiple, it's going to create multiple 4 charts because I'm having 4 different items. So April, August, December, because these are the 4 months data I have. So that's the reason it has created 4 charts automatically. Otherwise, if you have more, you can drag down. In fact, another couple of items are there. In fact, I missed, I'm sorry. There are many items are there. I think data is there. Now you can just drag this. These all are the small multiples. Sometimes in one single screen, I want to see all of the charts. So this for the April, August, December, Feb, and so on. So what I want is I can just go to my format, just concentrate and type continuous. I want the minimum, maximum, that's fine. I want to small multiples. In one row, I want 4 at least, right? Then I want 4 columns. I want 4 columns, 3 columns. That is sufficient. Yeah, 3 columns. Now this is April, August, December, February, and so on. But there is no meaning of having only one variable here. What I'm going to do, I don't want actually here year. I want actually the country. Then you can see it much better. So country wise, month wise, how the performance is. Now you can see it for all the 12 months. Now for this visual, again, you can just go to the small multiples. I want 4 by 2, that's fine. 4 rows and 2 columns will not sufficient. So let me have it. Otherwise, in one screen, I want maybe at least 5. Otherwise, 3 columns so that all 12 you can see at the same time. Like that, you can create n number of visuals. Don't consider that today's session is advanced. It is a very basic. I just want to give a basic knowledge to the people who doesn't know about the Power BI, the introduction, how Power Query can work as an ETL engine, how through the data modeling you can relate more than one table, and how you can prepare a small dashboard like this within minutes of time. That's all for this week, Thursday for Technology series. See you all in the next week. My suggestion to all of you, please forward the recording or the channel link to your friends so that many other people will get benefit out of this session. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.